Anakin was an emotionally in-depth and vulnerable character, and there was more layers beneath Vader than his exterior led many people to believe. There was more under the surface. To see him go from an innocent child to an angst teen and eventually the greatest pilot the world has ever seen as a young man was a character evolution. He matured over time, and you could tell he got older and even wiser. He's a really compelling character with a unique personality, and he even has charm. Anakin is borderline iconic. In the Clone Wars cartoon, however, all his complex emotions and his voice and depth all thrown out the window, and he's a super stoic sounding guy. Kind of like how the original trilogy Pierce wanted him to be in the first place. Now this is so disappointing. This really sucks hard, really hard, because Anakin felt and was a more complex character, and now he feels one-dimensional and lacks the characterization and depth of Hayden Christensen and his voice double, Matt Lucas. These were the best versions of Anakin's character. Why is Anakin so flat and stale in the Clone Wars, but he's so interesting and deep in the prequels? People talk all this stuff about episodes 1 through 3, but guess what? It had depth, great writing, always on the move, and it had its own style, and it was subtle. I love that. I can't find this in new Star Wars. Where is this feeling? Inspiring, unique stuff, not here, but it is there. Why is Anakin so bland and empty? He's like what the OT purists wanted young Vader to be like. And it's so flat. A more vulnerable and in-depth character is more interesting and unique. Speaking of Clone Wars, people go on and on about how the prequels introduced plot holes. How about Clone Wars? ARC troopers have their own independence, programmed through their DNA. So why are the soldiers, the normal soldiers, which are not programmed genetically to be indifferent, to be independent like the ARC troopers, why are they making their own decisions completely, without any programming? That's contradictory. They aren't supposed to be able to do that. That's why during Order 66, they followed it without question. They are trained to be soldiers. They are not independent. Those are the clone commanders, not ARC troopers. They disregarded this. Why are fans paying more attention to the world's logistics than Hollywood writers who are getting paid for it? Come on! Normal troopers betraying. Slips is the traitor. They aren't even independent soldiers. So how is he making independent decisions? This is what leads people to question Order 66, when prior it already made sense, because in Attack of the Clones they explained that already. So now you're introducing plot holes that were never there, and yet people complain about the prequels? Then you got Dave Filoni stealing ideas from the EU and passing it off as his own. Then you got people claiming he's helping George's legacy. Not true, simply not. He had two factions as the Mandalorians, apparently. One is the Death Watch, who are not, I repeat, not Mandalorian. They don't care about their own people. They're traitors and terrorists. But here's where it gets real. The Mandalorians are pacifists. So where are the warriors? You know, the ones who inspired the Republic Commandos, who trained them? That's why the music is in Mandalorian. You basically retcon that. You see what I'm talking about? So one is pacifist, the other are terrorists. Where are the warriors? The actual Mandalorians. Why would they be pacifists? That doesn't make any sense. Look at how each Mandalorian character you've seen act. Does that seem like a pacifist to you? I'm so tired of people saying the Clone Wars is the only good thing in Star Wars, or the prequels when they praise Clone Wars. I'm so tired of people saying Clone Wars is the only good thing in Star Wars, or the prequels when they praise Clone Wars. But they trash the prequels and say this show is what it should have been. It's what the prequels should have been. And then they praise Clone Wars but trash the prequels left and right. It's so annoying! This is what I'm laying down. And this was Tarragon. And I am now out this piece.